Hey everyone, Prepared Guy here once again. This is the Perun 2. I picked this beautiful headlamp up during this month's Olight flash sale, and I'm really digging the color scheme. The Perun 2 retails for around $90 for the standard black model, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Out of the box, the Perun 2 comes with a magnetic charging cable, a lanyard, and a headband with a silicone bracket, and a 4000 mAh 21700 rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and of course, the Perun 2 itself. The Perun 2 is IPX8 rated, which means you can submerge it in water, and it also has an impact rating of 1.5 meters or 4 foot 11 inches. It also weighs 161 grams or 5.68 ounces. As many of you know, during my runtime test, I like to let the light run at its highest lumen output and then allow the light to step down naturally as the battery depletes. This is the most efficient way to estimate runtimes. If the runtime for the highest lumen output matches the runtimes referenced in the manual, then it's safe to say that the rest of the lower runtimes may be equally accurate. During my runtime test, I ran the Perun 2 on the 2500 lumen turbo mode, which stepped down to an 800 lumen output automatically after 2 minutes. The light then ran at the 800 lumen mode for an additional 3 hours and 3 minutes until the battery was completely depleted. When the Perun 2 battery life hits 10%, the low battery life indicator will activate and the light will vibrate every 30 seconds to indicate that it's running low on power. It does this until the light turns off completely and needs to be recharged. The Perun 2 ran for an additional 45 minutes after reaching that critical 10% power point. On a side note, the low battery indicator does not work in the moonlight mode, and the Perun 2 can last up to 12.5 days in the 5 lumen moonlight mode. During my runtime test, I also tested the thermal output on the 2500 lumen mode, and the Perun 2 got up to 114 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees Celsius after about 48 minutes of use. The Perun 2 took just under 3 hours to charge, but unfortunately a well-known problem with the Olight magnetic chargers is that the indicator light doesn't always turn green once the charge is complete, and you end up having to detach the charger briefly and then reattach it so that the indicator light will register the full charge. This is a common problem, but don't worry, your light is more than likely fully charged, so that less than 3 hour recharge time that we just talked about is more likely closer to 2 hours for a complete charge, which is really good. I charge my Perun 2 using my Anker variable charger, which charges all of my flashlights as efficiently as possible. As far as special features go, the Perun 2 has a proximity sensor that only works in the 2500 lumen mode, and the 800 lumen step down mode, and the 500 lumen high mode. The 120/30 and also 5 lumen moonlight mode do not work with the proximity sensor because the light doesn't get hot enough to cause any damage at those outputs. The lumen outputs and the run times for the Perun 2 are as followed. The 5 lumen moonlight mode with a runtime of 12.5 days. The 30 lumen low mode with a runtime of 66 hours. The 120 lumen medium mode with a runtime of 18 hours. The 500 lumen high mode with a runtime of 4.5 hours, motherfucker. The 2500 lumen turbo mode with a runtime of 2 minutes. That's not very long.
And of course, the 2500 lumen SOS mode with an unspecified runtime.
And there's also a lockout mode that can be accessed by holding down the top switch for a couple seconds and then repeating the process to unlock it. But enough about all those technical specs. Let's get outside and see how bright this bitch is. Before we go outside, I'd like to inform you that the beam distance on the Perun 2 is about 545 feet or 166 meters, and the max candela is 6,889 CD. The color tint for the Perun 2 is also a cool white, and the beam is considered a flutter. Alright guys, here we are outside with the Perun 2. I'm going to run it on the low 5 lumen mode. I'm going to shut the camera light off and I'm going to put this in the 5 lumen mode. We are about 20 feet away from the railing in front of me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk this light towards the railing. This is 5 lumens, nice and bright. As you can see me, You can see the porch over here. I'm gonna walk it back to the 20-foot mark. That's a relatively bright light right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the 30 lumen mode with a runtime of 66 hours. As you guys can see, much brighter now. I'm going to walk it towards the railing. Very bright. Plenty of light to see what you're doing, especially at night in the complete darkness. I can see in front of me with no problems. So I'm going to walk it back to the 20-foot mark. And now we're going to step it up to the 120 lumen mode with a runtime of 18 hours, which is a pretty darn long time. It's 120 lumens. It just looks so bright. This light has such nice flood to it. I like the color of the tint, which is actually cool white. And I'm going to step it back. We're going to go back to the 20-foot mark. As you can see, nice and bright still. And now I'm going to put it in the 500 lumen mode. And the 500 lumen mode has a runtime of 270 minutes, or about 4.5 hours, which is really, really great for a nice bright light like this. Look at that. I can actually start seeing in my yard now. That's how far this is going. Look how bright that is. We're at the 20-foot mark. You can really see out there. You can see those trees. Those trees are actually about 100 feet away from me right now. So we're going to step it up now to the 2500 lumen mode. Now you could really see, and that has a run time of 2 minutes, and then it drops down to 800 lumens, and the 800 lumens will last you for about 2 hours and 55 minutes, and you can see out there, guys, really, really nice and bright. 500 lumens, 2500 lumens, and those trees are at least 100 feet away from me right now. Let's actually go up to the railing. And now you guys can see those trees are about 75 feet away now. But look at that. Look how bright that is. You can see the rabbit out there in the yard, actually. See him all the way out there running? Yep. So nice and bright, guys. This is a very, very impressive light. In fact, I bought 3 of these during the flash sale at $75 a pop, except I got mine with the i3T in brass. I paid the 85 bucks for it. Well worth it. This light is crazy. I'm gonna walk out in the yard and show you guys exactly what this looks like. Now guys, this is what this light looks like with the 2,500 lumens coming out of it. So this is 2,500 lumens, nice and bright. Look how crazy bright this is. I'm scaring all the rabbits in the neighborhood. So I'm going to put this in the low 5 lumen mode so you guys can see what this looks like when I'm out in the yard. This is the low 5 lumen mode. You really can't see nothing. I'm going to step it up now. Now we're in the low 30 lumen mode. Sorry, the moonlight mode was the 5 lumen mode. The 30 lumens is the low mode. Not very bright. Step it up to the 120 lumen mode. A lot brighter. Now we're going to step it up to the 500 lumen mode. Much brighter now. Now you can actually see. And now we'll put it in the 2500 lumen mode, and boom. I could see up in the trees if I need to. I could see the other trees. I could see all the things in the corner of the yard that's going to jump out and try to get me. There's monsters out here. And we got rabbits. We got so many rabbits in this yard. It's crazy. They sound like wrecking balls when they're coming through the leaves. But yeah, it's the funniest thing. So yeah, this is what this looks like. Ridiculously bright headlamp, guys. Like probably one of the brightest headlamps I've actually ever owned. This is miraculous. Woohoo! Well, folks, that's about all she wrote. So my pros for the Perun 2, I only have one pro, is that it has excellent run times. Well, yeah, and maybe my second pro is that it's really, really friggin' bright. Also, my con is that it weighs a lot. It's 1/3 of a pound, so when you're putting that on your head, it's going to feel ginormous and huge if you have a tiny head, because it's a 4 by 1 inch long, wide tube that looks a little bulky if you have a tiny head. But on my ginormous Shrek melon, it looked perfectly normal, so it really depends on the size of your head. Overall, the 2500 lumen output on a headlamp is a rare find, and it's a major leap forward for headlamps everywhere in the headlamp game. So if you're thinking of pulling the trigger on this headlamp, then I suggest you do it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by adding this high quality headlamp to your EDC rotation. I hope this video has been helpful, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. This has been Prepared Guy, and until next time, guys, stay prepared. What did you say to me?
I said if you touch my flashlight, I'll fucking kill you.